All right. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Cody Hanna. I am one of our 2022 elected AZGP co-chairs. And today I'm going to be taking you through our new member orientation. So part one is our basic Green Party 101. What is the Green Party? So the Green Party is a progressive, independent, grassroots political party that participates in elections by running candidates at any level we can, as well as participating in direct on-the-ground activism and mutual aid in our communities. So we're both running candidates in elections, and we're also volunteering in our communities and trying to help in that way. We are the fourth largest political party in the United States. We are powered entirely by our individual grassroots donors and volunteers. We take no corporate money, so there is no corporate control of our party. We are not just a political party, but a global movement. Green parties exist in about 90 countries around the world, and many of which are members of the Global Greens, which is like a huge global international collection of green parties from each country. Um, Since 1985, the US Greens have won at least 1,338 races, including at least 163 partisan races. So we run local, we run in partisan races, in nonpartisan races, we run anywhere that we can. And at least 123 Greens currently hold elected office in the United States. So a little Green Party history here for you. From the 1950s to the 1970s, there were a lot of separate social movements, the civil rights movement, the feminist movement, the environmental movement, peace movement, the anti-nuclear movement. A lot of these social movements from the 50s through the 60s and 70s began to collaborate and formed an association of movements. That continued into the 1980s, where the first Green Committees of Correspondence occurs. This happened after the success of the German Greens. The basic thought process was that if the Green Party is finding some electoral success in Germany, maybe we could replicate that in the United States. So in 1991, the Greens/Green Party USA forms from the left Greens to focus on activism, education, and organizing. So there was a bit of a split in the Green Party, and that was partially over whether we should do elections more and run candidates and make that our focus, or rather do a lot more on the ground type stuff like activism, educating, and organizing around popular social movements and making sure that the Greens were involved on the ground. So there was a little bit of a split there in our early years. And then in 1996, the Association of State Green Parties formed to create an election-focused national party and support the Nader/Leduc campaign. So that was basically the electorally focused half. The Green Party USA were more focused on activism and organizing. But we ended up settling our differences, and in 2000, the Green Party of the United States, GPUS, is formed as a hybridization of both groups. So both groups came together, compromised, and figured that we would all be better as one party, one organization that does both things. And then from the 2000s to the present, the GPUS has continued to grow, and we run candidates up and down the ballot in almost every state each cycle. So, what does the Green Party believe? What's our thesis? So, basically, what we believe is that the many social and ecological crises that we face, so things like climate change, racism, cis heteropatriarchy, poverty, war, inequality, all these things that make society harder for our planet and for working people. These things are the direct result of a centralized hierarchical capitalist system that is entirely based on unchecked wealth extraction and domination of people and the planet by the rich and powerful. And we know this. That's a lot of big words to say that, but the basic thought behind it is that, we have a lot of problems that are being exacerbated by the way that we treat our planet and the way that, the rich and powerful are treating everyday working class people, and those things are connected. So that's sort of part of what our vision is trying to get people to see how those different issues that we face are connected. Um, because we believe that the solution to these crises is only possible through a new kind of radical, independent grassroots politics that is based on a set of key guiding principles and values. And we'll talk a little bit about the Green Party's 10 key values here in a second. We also came to the conclusion as an organization, as a party, that we must exist both as an independent electoral party, so we need to run candidates in elections, um, and we also need to act as a grassroots activist movement. We need to be on the ground. We need to be fighting and putting our money where our mouth is, in every sense of the phrase. So we're deciding that we don't want to focus on one over the other. We really want to do both and try and do both as a method of developing the kind of social and political movement that we're trying to grow within the Green Party. So our 10 key values, these are our 10 key values. They are peace, social justice, ecology, sustainable economics, democracy, decentralization, feminism and gender equality, respect for diversity, personal and global responsibility, and future focus and sustainability. You can read more about each individual value on the Green Party's website. Um, for now, I just want you to be aware that these are our 10 key values. Generally, these are the things that all of our actions and developments as a party are driven by. So, what is eco-socialism? So, we've seen that capitalism requires infinite growth, so it needs to keep growing in order for it to continue to function. It needs those things so that it can create a profit for the owner class that owns, factories and the means of production. And it is inherently incompatible with human life and well-being on a planet with finite resources, right? So we have a finite amount of resources. The entire ideology around capitalism is that it needs to continue to grow in order to be successful in order to sustain itself. And we know that that doesn't work on a planet that we share, all of us, and that has finite resources available to us. And we've also seen how post-industrial capitalism has accelerated global warming, pollution, and climate change. And we're seeing the devastation that's had on ecosystems all around the planet, um, whether it be, the bleaching of coral reefs, the destruction of the Amazon, um, all of these things, come back to business practices at the end of the day. And that really has a lot to do with our economic system. So, what we advocate for is eco socialism, which is sort of an antithesis to the grow, grow, grow mentality of capitalism. So, eco socialism is an umbrella term for a family of political ideologies sharing a core belief that the only ethical way to fight the climate crisis, mitigate its worst effects, and restore social and ecological harmony is through the institution of an ecologically driven and democratically organized economy controlled by workers in our communities, not corporations and billionaires. So, as I said, the Green Party is a self-proclaimed eco-socialist political party. We reject the exploitative and environmentally toxic system of capitalism in favor of a government and economy that works for people, planet, and peace above profits. So we are an eco-socialist party. We are proudly anti-capitalist, and I think that makes us unique amongst the larger of the third and fourth parties. I think that it's definitely the kind of thing that is unique amongst Democrats, even those who say that they are socialists, but they're still running as Democrats and still supporting capitalists. So we're really sort of marking out our niche here as Greens being eco-socialists specifically, especially as the climate crisis continues to accelerate. So here's some popular Green Party policies. We originated the real Green New Deal and not this, 8-page thing from AOC that doesn't have any actual practical policy points in it. Um, we advocate for universal access to social resources. That means healthcare, childcare, education, housing, basic income, the basic things one needs to survive and live a happy and healthy life. We support reparations for American descendants of slavery. We support defunding, demilitarizing, and dismantling the policing and prison systems. We support protecting and expanding our democracy. We support the end of corporate personhood and control of government. That's a big one. We support raising taxes on the wealthiest Americans. We support land back and sovereignty for indigenous people, full citizenship for tax-paying undocumented residents. We support the end to all U.S. wars of aggression and greatly reducing our military budget. We support an end to the war on drugs and to treat addiction as a public health issue. And we support raising the minimum wage to a living wage. So all of these things that, even the most progressive of Democrats sometimes won't touch, this is all standard in the Green Party. So these are the things we're fighting for. These are what we need to have a dignified life as citizens of the wealthiest nation in history. So a little bit about how the Green Party is structured. Green Party is not a top-down national political party like the Democrats or Republicans. We're decentralized, and we're a democratic confederation of state parties. So each state party has their own autonomy to kind of do their own thing within a core set of values and goals, basically. Each state party elects delegates to serve on our national committee. National committee delegates vote on all national GPUS proposals. So we have a separate committee that's made up of each state's delegates that kind of make decisions for our national body. From that national committee, we elect a steering committee from within the ranks, and that steering committee basically just oversees and executes the day-to-day administration of the party. They have a lot of meetings. I know a few people who have been members of our GPUS steering committee in the past and who are present members, and it's a lot of work. So I really got to commend them for doing that. There are also groups called identity caucuses within the Green Party. The main ones we have right now are Youth, Women's, Black, Latinx, and Lavender, which is for our LGBTQIA plus folks. Um, these caucuses are uh, their own bodies, so they hold nearly equal standing to states as far as national committee representation and stuff like that. Um, and identity caucuses also have the ability to elect and send delegates to the national committee. So they can co-sponsor proposals. They can do everything that a state party can, basically. But they're more for individual groups who associate together based on marginalized identity. So like our youth caucus is for Greens who are between the ages of 14 and 35. So generally, voter base that's kind of left out of the conversation. Same thing with like women's, Black, Latinx, Lavender. All of these groups are sort of advocating for these marginalized communities in and uplifting their issues in the Green Party. States and caucuses also elect and appoint their members to national GPUS working committees. So there's a bunch of them. There's like finance, fundraising, media, ballot access. Uh, there's a ton. So if you're interested at all in getting involved with national Green Party work, those are a great place to start. You can just ask your caucus or the state party, and we can appoint you. So, part two, a little bit about the Arizona Green Party specifically. So, we are the fourth largest political party in Arizona with about 4 to 5,000 registered Greens across the state. We are the largest openly anti capitalist electoral party in Arizona. We've achieved statewide ballot status 7 times in our party history from 1992, 2000, 2008, 2010, 2012, 2016, and 2018. We are 100% people powered and grassroots, just like our national federation. We do not take any corporate money. And we are democratically organized and operated by our members and volunteers. Some of our electoral history is that we were founded in the May of 1990. In 1992, Richard Duell was elected to the Board of Education in Bisbee with 20.5% of the vote. And in 1996, three more AZGP candidates won their races. Alva Dorje with 54.9%. She won a seat on the Bisbee Town Council. Norm Wallen won a seat on the Flagstaff City Council with 19.3%. And Gerald Anderson with 28.1% of the vote won a seat on a Pima County Charter Review Commission. So a lot of our wins have been early in our history and at the very local level. But since 1992, AZGP has run 92 candidates in partisan and nonpartisan races up and down the ticket in 20 election cycles. So a little bit about the AZGP structure. Much like the GPUS, the AZGP is a federation of local county chapters, as well as any active identity caucuses here locally in Arizona. AZGP members elect from within our statewide membership a state committee, the same way we do at the national level. We're electing two co-chairs, first and second vice chairs, treasurer, secretary, recorder, media outreach coordinator, and our GPUS delegates and alternates. And then the state committee, pardon me, also includes the county and caucus representatives that come from individual chapters and caucuses. The state committee oversees the day-to-day operations of the AZGP. Local chapters and caucuses have autonomy of operation and elect their own steering committees and representatives to the AZGPSC. AZGP members may join and volunteer on one or more of our active working committees at the state level. So as long as you're a member, we'd love to have you participate in one of our working committees. And about membership. So membership in the AZGP is open to any resident of Arizona, no matter their race, gender, ethnicity, orientation, age, class, country of origin, etc. So we are not barring anybody from that. Individuals must just simply fulfill three basic requirements to be considered active members of the AZGP. Number one, you must be a registered green voter in your county of residence. If you are in the youth caucus, so if you're under the age of 18 but are still involved with our youth caucus, if you are denied your right to suffrage by the state, if you were formerly incarcerated, something like that, exceptions can be made. We just need to know about them. So you must personally subscribe to the 10 key values and agree to abide by those values and our bylaws. And you must help to support the collective financing of our party through monthly/annual dues payments to your local county chapter or to the state party directly if there is no local chapter in your county of residence. Only dues-paying AZGP members may submit and vote on proposals, including the election and recalls of officers. Dues-paying members can join our working committees at the state level, can be nominated for endorsement of candidacy by the AZGP. So if you want to run as a green and you want our endorsement, you have to be a member. And you have to be a member to be elected to our state committee. It's a little bit about how we make decisions. We use consensus or consensus decision making. The goal of consensus is to minimize factionalism and hierarchy while promoting and practicing the ideal of cooperative leadership. Consensus requires active good faith participation by all members involved. And if and when the consensus process fails, proposals go to a vote requiring a 2/3 supermajority, 67% vote of support to pass. Consensus basically means that all those affected are involved, heard, and respected. And over here on the right, there is a diagram that shows how the process goes. So it starts with discussion of an issue or topic, then a proposal is made. We test for consensus, see if everybody is okay with everything in that proposal. If yes, then we have consensus. If no, then we need to address the concerns that are raised. That will send us back to the middle of this program. If somebody blocks, then we need to revise the proposal and start over. And then you can also stand aside where you feel as though your concern was not necessarily addressed, but you're not willing to block the proposal. Meetings and roles. So the AZGP general membership meets a minimum of 3 times per year. The SC meets on a monthly basis, usually on the third Thursday of each month. All official AZGP meetings, excluding executive work sessions of the state committee, are open to the public to observe. AZGP meeting agendas and details can be found posted on our website within the events calendar tab, usually 1 week before the meeting occurred. At each meeting, members volunteer to fulfill certain roles in the meeting's process. Meeting roles include host/greeter, facilitator, stacktator, note taker, timekeeper, vibes monitor, and chat moderator. And you can find more information about those meeting roles and responsibilities in our AZGP members handbook. So part 3, getting involved. How can you get involved with the Arizona Green Party? First thing we need you to do is register to vote. So you can do that by going to www.servicearizona.com/voter registration. Select your language preference. You can choose English or Spanish. Click the blue bar at the bottom of the page that says begin/update voter registration. There'll be 5 eligibility questions that you'll be asked. Go ahead and answer those. Enter your name, date of birth, last 4 of your social security, and your AZ driver's license number. And then enter and confirm your residential address. And then under the party preference drop-down tab, make sure you choose other. And then in the other party section, be sure you type green. And then you can complete the rest of the optional questions and submit, and you will be a registered green voter. The next thing you'll want to do is pay your membership dues. If there is a local chapter active in your county, you can pay your dues payment as a donation to your local chapter. Local chapters keep their own records of their dues paying members and report quarterly to the state party treasurer. If there is not a local chapter active in your county, you can pay your dues payment as a donation directly to the state party. State party treasurer keeps records of our at-large dues paying members, and those donations are primarily helping to go towards building new county parties from those counties where at-large members are at. So we want to make sure that we're helping to support ourselves in our growth. Members determine their own level of dues based on income or ability to pay. Our suggested dues rate is a simple 0.3% of your income. The minimum dues required to be an AZGP member are $12 a year, $1 a month. The AZGP recommends $12 a year for those experiencing extraordinary financial hardship. So if you really can't afford to give very much at all, but you still want to be an AZGP member, the $12 a year is the minimum due. So you can pay that all at once, or you know, make sure that it is paid to our donation site on our website. That way we know that you are donating for dues, and then we will be able to keep track of that. But yeah, if you're able, 0.3% of income is a great rate. If you're not really able to give much, the $12 a year is totally cool. So you can also join your local chapter, which we really recommend that you guys do. The 2 chapters that we have active right now are the Green Party of Maricopa County. You can find their website at greenpartymc.org, or you can email them at greenpartymc21@gmail.com. Their current chairperson is Amy Beck Jones, and their general membership meetings tend to be on the first Monday of every month at 7 p.m. The Green Party of Pima County is active as well. You can find them at pimagreens.org. Their email is gpinfo@pimagreens.org. Their current chairperson is Eduardo Quintana, and they have general membership meetings on the first Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. And if you don't see your county here yet, please contact us if you're interested in helping to start a Green Party chapter in your county. We'd love to help you do that and get you going on that. So you can also join a caucus. There is the Black Caucus, which is for Green Party members who identify as African or African American. The Latinx Caucus, which is for Green Party members who identify as Latinx/Latine or Hispanic. Lavender Caucus, which is for Green Party members who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, asexual, etc. Women's Caucus for Green Party members who identify as women or other femme identities. or the Young Eco Socialists, which is for Green Party members between the ages of 14 and 35. And if you're interested in joining or helping to start an AZGP Identity Caucus chapter, please reach out to us. You can also join an AZGP working committee as a volunteer. We definitely need volunteers. You can join our ballot access committee, which is responsible for collecting petition signatures for our ballot status. You can join our finance and fundraising committee. That's responsible for drafting our annual budget, as well as helping us fundraise and organize events around raising money. Our bylaws committee, which is responsible for drafting and revising our governing rules. Our strategic planning committee, which is responsible for drafting all our long-term AZGP goals, strategies, tactics, and timelines. Our media outreach committee, which is responsible for our social media, our website, any sort of printed media, graphic design stuff. That's all our media outreach committee. Our public outreach committee, which is responsible for any presentations or speaking engagements with the public. Our communications committee, which is responsible for inter-party communications to members and registered green voters, usually in the form of mailers, newsletters, phone, text banking, that sort of thing. Or our political campaigns committee, which is responsible for organizing, recruiting, and training Green Party candidates and volunteers for electoral campaigns. And if you're interested in joining one of these committees or any combination of these committees, please contact us and let us know. We also hope all of you will think about running for office. We are always recruiting for new, exciting AZ Green candidates at the local, state, and federal level from amongst our active membership. Win or lose, Green campaigns are an important part of pushing our message and policies into the public conversation to help build new public support for and engagement with the AZGP. We believe the people of Arizona deserve to have a choice on their ballots to vote for the candidates that best represent their values and policy concerns. So if you are interested in running as an AZGP endorsed candidate, please contact the state committee, your local chapter, and/or the political campaigns committee chairperson. You can also connect with us. We are at our website at www.azgp.org. We're on Discord. We also have a Facebook page, facebook.com/azgreenparty. We have a Facebook group, facebook.com/group/Arizona Green Party. Our Twitter is at AZ Green Party. Our Instagram is at AZ Green Party. And our TikTok is at AZ Green Party. And you can find us on YouTube at this link. You can also search up Arizona Green Party there. And that's the end of our orientation. If you have any questions or want to learn more about becoming a member, running for office, anything that has to do with the Arizona Green Party, please reach out. Let us know. We'd love to get you connected and involved.